Thank you, Captain. Good afternoon. Earlier today, Hoover Police detectives obtained warrants for the arrest of Carlee Russell through the Hoover Municipal Court for her actions related to faking her kidnapping and subsequently making false statements to detectives as they investigated this case. Her decisions that night created panic and alarm for the citizens of our city and even across the nation as the concern grew that a kidnapper was on the loose using a small child as bait. Numerous law enforcement agencies, both local and federal, began working tirelessly not only to bring Carlee home to her family, but locate a kidnapper that we know now never existed. Many private citizens volunteered their time and energy into looking for a potential kidnapping victim that we know now was never in any danger. This story opened wounds for families whose loved ones really were victims of kidnappings, some of which even helped organize searches in hopes they could find Carlee's alive so her family would not experience the pain and suffering that they felt when their loved ones never returned home. As we know, actions can have consequences, and that's why we're here today. This afternoon, Carlee Russell, with the assistance of her attorney, turned herself into the Hoover City Jail, where she was arrested for the following charges: false reporting to law enforcement authorities, Class A misdemeanor, $1,000 bond; falsely reporting an incident, a Class A misdemeanor with a $1,000 bond. Each of these charges carry up to a year in jail and potential fine of $6,000 upon conviction. Ms. Russell was released from jail after posting bond. We initially presented this case to District Attorney Lanice Washington, who agreed to handle prosecution in the district court. After consulting with the Circuit Court of County Bessemer Division, the case was referred back to municipal court for charging because the only applicable charges were misdemeanors. Judging from the amount of phone calls and emails that we've received from people all over the country, I know many are shocked and appalled that Ms. Russell is only being charged with 2 misdemeanors, despite all the panic and disruption her actions caused. Let me assure you, I too share the same frustration, but existing laws only allow the charges that were filed to be filed. I can tell you I will be contacting our state legislatures on behalf of law enforcement in Montgomery and asking them to look at this law applied to these facts and urge them to add an enhancement to current legislation when somebody falsely reports kidnapping or another violent crime. Because of the attention this case has garnered, we've requested Attorney General Steve Marshall's office adopt this case, and they've agreed to do so. The Hoover Police Department wants to thank everyone that assisted us from the beginning and continues to assist us in this case as we work its way through the criminal justice system. Joining me at the podium today is State of Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall.
Thank you, Chief. Let me begin by commending Hoover Police Department Chief Durgis for his leadership in this investigation. Obviously, this captured many's attention as a result of not only the allegations themselves, but also the concern about a possible victim and being able to return her home. The work that was done by the Hoover Police Department was monumental in its lift, and the results of that work you are seeing come to fruition today with the charge that have been levied. I also want to commend many other men and women of both state and federal law enforcement for their work collaboratively with the Hoover Police Department in assisting in this investigation. Chief, appreciate the opportunity to be able to partner with you in this prosecution. We will dedicate a team to be able to help the city of Hoover in handling these 2 individual charges and look forward to bringing this case to fruition. One thing I would add is that we don't see this as a victimless crime. There are significant hours spent, resources expended as a result of this investigation. And not only that, but the many men and women who are civilians that wore those yellow vests on a hot afternoon and evening looking for someone they thought was abducted, trying to be of assistance. We intend to fully prosecute this case and look forward to working with the Hoover Police Department moving forward. We also would tell you that we will continue to monitor this investigation to determine whether or not there are any additional charges that need to be brought, and we'll evaluate those as the facts are presented.
Thank you. All right, this
So what you just saw there was Carlee Russell being charged with 2 misdemeanors, and these are Class A misdemeanors at that. So Class A misdemeanors in Alabama are the most severe offenses short of a felony. And these types of misdemeanors, Class A convictions, will result in harsher punishment, two of which include up to 1 year in jail and a $6,000 fine. So some of the crimes qualifying as Class A misdemeanors, and not saying that they apply to this case, but I'm just listing off based on the research I did. DV, third degree, theft of property, value of $500 or less, assault, third degree, reckless endangerment, criminal mischief, second degree, possession of drug paraphernalia, DUI for a first, second, or third offense, cruelty to animals, dogfighting, assault with bodily fluids, possession of marijuana for personal use, promoted prostitution, third degree, and some traffic offenses like reckless driving or leaving the scene of an accident without injuries. Many Class A felonies can become felonies or Class A misdemeanors can become felonies if certain aggravating circumstances exist. So, in previous videos I did, I talked about the two charges that she did. She filed a false police report, and the other one, which they didn't charge her with, but I talked about how she misused the 911 system. Because, see, filing a false police report can have significant impacts. Now, this is the thing. If you ask me, and he's alluded to it, that police captain alluded to it on the press conference. They're going to look to change this law. They're going to look to change this law when someone files a false police report to a felony. Now, not saying that this is going to kick in during this case or whatever, but you can rest assured, future, he's going to talk to the local state lawmakers, and they're going to look to change that law to where if you file a false police report, that's going to become a felony. And, you know, felonies are different than misdemeanors. You know, misdemeanors, you might do some community service, and all this is contingent upon what the judge said, because the judge had the final ruling when the case comes to court. You could do community service, you could be doing anger management, you could be doing all kinds of stuff. The most severe thing you could be doing is jail time. You'll do jail time, probably a fine or something like that, and they might put some other stipulations upon you or whatever like that. You might do some probation, and if you violate your probation, then you might get jail time, right? But if you get a felony, on your record, then that really impacts you. It can impact you possibly getting a job. It can impact you being able to possess a weapon legally, stuff like that. But for Carlee Russell, this was dumb. Okay, let's just keep this 100. What she did was completely dumb. And to all you feminists out there that was running your mouth, projecting her situation on the black men, like black men was at fault for her concocting this BS story. Like I remember my lady friend woke me up. Hey man, you heard about this girl who was missing on the interstate? I'm like, missing on the interstate? I'm like, that don't make no sense, man. There's got to be more to this story. And this was like at 3:00 in the morning, not really thinking about it. And as time went on, I thought about it. I'm like, okay, if there was a baby really stuck if there was a toddler walking on the side of the interstate, right? I talk about this and I'm gonna continue to talk about it, right? Because I don't think people really thought this thing through. But if there was a baby that was walking on the interstate, did you not think that the cops, police station, or did you think that the police station would have had all kinds of people blowing up their phone about a baby being on the side of the road? Don't you think there would have been many cars there surrounding that baby, making sure that baby is okay? Don't you think there would have been people searching all the different areas to see where the parent might be? Don't you think they would have shut down the interstate if that was the case? There would have been a whole array of things that should have happened if that was the case. You mean to tell me all these cars that was driving on that interstate that night, and she just happened to be the only one with an eagle eye to see a baby walking on the interstate? No other car saw it but her. Okay, okay. Already knew there was some BS out there in the atmosphere. So, and then it gets even more egregious when she tells a story about how she got abducted. So they they put they put tape or whatever around your mouth, but they don't tie your hands up. Come on now, when have you ever heard someone to abduct somebody and not tie somebody's hands up and not tie their legs, stuff like that, to keep them from defending themselves and to keep them from possibly escaping? Who does that? Then the whole story about the Cheez-Its and all that, I'm like, come on, man. I mean, the more she started talking, the less it made sense. The more she talked, the less it made sense. I mean, this is right up there with goddamn on Jussie Smollett. When he did that interview on Good Morning America with Robin Roberts, talking about how he got abducted and beat up by two men at 2 a.m. looking for Subway. And I'm like, hold up. That something about that don't sound right. So I went to go look up the hours of Subway out in Chicago, and ain't no goddamn Subways open at 2 a.m. So when I figured, when I did the research and looked that up, I'm like, man, Jussie Smollett all cap right now. So she's getting charged in connection with this hoax. And then the parents, if you ask me, the parents are just as culpable. They went on goddamn on to the Day Show and stood up there and carried on that lie, knowing this woman made this whole thing up. They had to have some kind of idea that she made this up. Like, if you got a kid, if you sit your kid down, you interrogated your kid, right? More often than not, especially for the women, right? Women know when their kid is lying. There's this intuition about a woman that knows when their kid is about to serve them some bullshit. And parents start asking, the mama start asking questions. The daddy might be there, he started asking questions too. And then in your head, as your kid is telling you this, you processing this information and then you're asking subsequent questions. Okay, so you said you got abducted and you said that the person is has taped your mouth shut, but he didn't like tie you up or like around your legs, or he didn't tie you up around your hands or anything like that. He just what? That don't even make no sense. And then when you come home and you hardly had any kind of injuries to your body, it's like, hold up. What's up, Maximus Royalty? Salute to you. I see y'all up in here. Day Love, your suit night. MLK Garvey, James Anderson. Appreciate y'all for being up in here. He said when she said she saw a baby 600 yards away and saw a white guy with orange hair. Yeah, he told me so. So who'd you see? You see Donald Trump? Trump just happened to be, on this campaign trail or whatever like that. And that's the guy you saw with orange hair. What white guy you know with orange hair now? Come on now. You saw Ric Flair? Who did you see? A guy with orange hair. Get your ass out of here, man. For real. Her story just did not make any sense. It just didn't make any sense. So, I mean, the public, there's a lot of people on social media and people around her time that are really pissed off about this, but the law is the law. What we cannot do is overcharge for a crime. The crime and the punishment has to fit. And it's like, I know people are mad that a whole lot of time, whole lot of money, whole lot of resources was wasted. I know people out there was probably donating to whatever kind of fund or whatever kind of GoFundMe to make sure that her whereabouts was identified and she was back safe and all that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that are outraged behind that. Yeah, so she filed a false police report and filed a false statement. She turned herself in before the press conference and was released on a $2,000 bond, which is $1,000 for each charge. So her lawyer tried to get out in front of this on Monday when she admitted she made the whole thing up. Then my brother Max with Royalty said, then she said the woman combed her hair, fed her crackers, and they put $175 in the sock. Right. You know what I'm saying? I was like, come on now. You know it's some bullshit. Man, that shit was crazy, man. That shit was crazy, man. If you want to donate to my YouTube channel, $Freeway95 US is my Cash App, and PayPal.me Lbrian699. That's my PayPal. You know what I'm saying? And all donations can be appreciated. Matter of fact, it will be appreciated and accepted. So yeah, man. And then the whole thing about, and then when you do the internet searches was got me. That's what's got me. Her internet searches like about Amber Alerts and let me see. Hold on. The search history is what got me though. This woman, internet searches. She searched for information about Amber Alerts, local bus tickets, and the abduction-based movie Taken before the disappearance. Now, in the previous video I did, I explained how she did that. So, I mean, wherever, and then get this. This is what really got people pissed off. There was a $63,000 fundraiser for her. What was it? A $63,000 fundraiser for Carlee Russell that was donated to Crime Stoppers will not be refunded. Crime Stoppers of Metro Alabama reversed course on Monday after the organization said it would give back the $63,378 donated during the search for Russell. Now, the police said that some of that money has already been returned. So after the news of her disappearance, a private donor came in for a $25,000 reward offer, in addition to the $5,000 being offered by Crime Stoppers. That reward eventually increased to $55,000 and then over to $63,000 with the support of around 60 other donors. Now, I did say I was going to explain in the previous video, but you know what? I'll explain it, right? I'll explain it here. So, if you remember the part of the movie Taken where the daughter grabbed the phone and the daughter went under the bed, and the daughter was talking to Liam Neeson, and basically she kept the phone on the whole time, and the daughter, Liam Neeson told his daughter that, hey, they're going to take you. And when they took her, because they found her under the bed, she left the phone on. And when she left the phone on, Liam Neeson could hear all the, background noises and stuff like that. And his daughter was able to provide him the description of the people who abducted her. So she basically tried to apply that scenario to this. I was like, oh my goodness gracious. So the woman fed you Cheez-Its, huh? So you tell me a woman who helped this man with an orange hair abduct you, fed you Cheez-Its? Really? Oh no. Can't make this stuff up, man. This stuff's hilarious. Now, what's not as funny is the fact that you have people out there who are really missing their loved ones. So if there's anybody who's the most outraged behind this, are the people who still looking, hoping, and praying that their loved ones return home. And she concocts this fictitious tale. For what? In another previous video I did about this is straight up narcissism. When you want to have all the attention for yourself. You want to get some attention, all right. It ain't the attention you want. You're going to get some attention, Carlee Russell. It's just not the attention you're looking for. All this over a boyfriend. All this craziness over a freaking boyfriend that don't want her no more. What's up, Eric? Salute to my man Eric Johnson in the building. All over a dude that don't want her anymore. All these dudes out here who's looking to get them a little nookie for their cookie, and she out here doing all this extra stuff over the dude that kicked her to the curb. Now the boyfriend has deleted all references of her. You won't find not one iota of information about Carlee Russell on the ex-boyfriend's Instagram. He basically wiped it clean of her. Now, I've seen women do some crazy stuff. I've seen women do some crazy stuff when it comes to their man. You know what I'm saying? I guess the dick was that good when the Carlee Russell. I bet you have all kinds of wild dreams about that shit, didn't you? You probably went to the goddamn porn shop and got you one of them replica dicks that looked like it, probably felt like it. You grab that replica schlong or whatever like that. if you had a flashback, did you? What's up, my man Courtney Washington in the building? But yeah, man, this is crazy. This is crazy. So I know people are sensationalizing this thing, but you know, just like I always tell these white supremacists, man, you gotta respect the law. No matter how crazy, no matter how buffoonish, no matter how wild this thing might be, we out here, you know, make sure that this woman gets like the book thrown at her. The truth of the matter is, it's only a misdemeanor, and she is only going to. Do I think she's gonna get a year in jail? Probably not. I don't think she's gonna get a year in jail. Now, will she get some community service? Yeah. Will she face a heavy fine? Yeah. And you know, not like I could be out here pocket. You know what? I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna talk about their money situation, whatever like that. No. But is she gonna get heavily fined? Yes. Is she gonna do jail time? If she does, it's not gonna be a whole year. Is she gonna do probation? Absolutely. She is gonna do probation. You can rest assured she's gonna do probation, probably like a couple of years. But tell me what you think about this. This is, that's why her lawyers got out in front of this on Monday, because they knew charges was coming. Now I don't see no, black queen getting all kinds of trouble and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know how corrupt this system is anyway, right? So to say I'm disappointed in my sister is an understatement, right? But what's up, Kevin Wedderburn? Because I really don't want to see nobody get in trouble now. Let's just keep this 100. All right. Nobody don't want to be seen book it throwing at black folks, considering how corrupt the system is. We've seen people do much worse get off. But hey, tell me what you think in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, I'm going to follow this case as the court dates. If this trial ever goes public, I'll probably live stream that. Depending on barring any situation not throw a wrench in that, and then we'll break it down as I would always break stuff down. But yeah, man, you're not subscribing to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share these videos on your social media platforms. And I thank everybody for tuning in. Last but definitely not least, shouts out to the mighty Lions Den basketball community. This your man. Scream at me. Oh!